the like button is free. If you want me to keep going, at least hit the like button. If you can't hit the Cash App, I understand. But man, you can hit the like button. Okay, you can do that much for me. That'd be nice. Thank you. So one of the craziest legends out there is the pig lady. Now the pig lady is a pig lady. Now, this is how it goes. So, she was a beautiful girl, man. Real beautiful girl, man. I'm talking about like the talk of the town, man. This back in the day. So this like back in the like 50s, somewhere around there, 40s, 50s. And this girl I'm talking about beautiful, man. Drop dead gorgeous, boy. Now, she was a black girl. Now, the people of the town, and I know it sounds a little weird or whatever, but how basically like it was like, back in these days, this was the time when like, people married thinking, I don't want to say so they could come up, but it was like if you saw like, you had to have something going on. Like a daddy wasn't just gonna pass his daughter on to anybody. So yeah, that ain't crazy, man. That's how it should be. You shouldn't just marry somebody just because of blah, blah, blah. Like, love is good. That's cool. But, like with my daughters, man, you come to me, you better have something going on, all right? Like, if she said, Daddy, I love him. Okay, all right, that's cool. I ain't going to tell you don't love him. Well, what did he do for a living? Did he got a job? How much he making? Is he in school? Do he own a business? Now, if he a broke Negro, then that's fine. We just gonna work him to see if he want to build it up, and then once y'all get a little something together, I give you my blessing. That's it. So you can have a blessing, just put the work in or whatever. So that's how it was back then. You had to have some. So that her daddy knew how beautiful she was, and her mama knew just everybody knew like our daughter is a prize. So her daddy was real hard on who he'll let her talk to. So the bad side of this is it kind of got to a point to where it got to her head. Now ain't nothing wrong with knowing that you fine, knowing that you beautiful, and they say, man, she had just perfect curves and perfect curves and big chest and all that, man. So she was just out of this world, man. So now, nothing wrong with being confident. I love confidence in a woman. Like, even if, like, I'm talking about you remember growing up and it'd be like that big girl and she just had, like, you got the Lizzos and stuff now you see. And I think they kind of take it a little too far. Like, you ain't gotta have, like, I saw her with some pants with a hole cut in the back at the basketball game, man. So I ain't talking about just being ignorant, but I'm just talking about just good old confidence, knowing that you fine, knowing that you got your value that get you real far, So she started, kind of getting the feeling herself, because, her daddy was making her feel like, she was just queen of the world. Now, daddy should do that for their daughter. But you also gotta, you gotta teach too. You gotta, hey baby, yeah, you the prize. But, also you gotta have some respect for the man too. Now, a man that's gonna treat you like a prize, he worthy of respect too now. So it ain't just no one-way street. So, she'd go out courting and dating or whatever you want to call it with different guys. And, it just never would work out, because the guy would eventually start seeing like, man, this girl thinks she think her stuff don't stink. Like, yeah, I know her, you fine and all, but, she ain't nobody that fine. Where, cause they taking her out spending, she making sure they spend big money and they going out to eat in neighborhoods where they ain't necessarily welcome, and buying her gifts, fur coats and nice purses and all kind of stuff. So, now they, after a while, the word kind of got out there, oh man, she too stuck up. So folk quit messing with her. So now, So now she go to her pops and like, hey daddy, ain't none of these guys working out. Now her daddy, of course the guys wouldn't come to him and say like, hey man, your daughter's stuck up, I don't want her. But the word was spreading around town. So now it happened. So now word got back to her pop. And so when she came to him, he was kind of sitting on it. Like he had been hearing the rumors, but of course he had been denying it. But then when he got to talking to her, he started saying, well, God dang, maybe she is a little too stuck up. Because people, all these dates, and he knew how fine the daughter was, and all the other, people used to get married earlier these days. Because, women wasn't allowed, I'm not gonna say able, they wasn't allowed to, a woman could get certain jobs, but, a black girl couldn't go get a job being a truck driver or a construction worker. They had to work certain jobs, man, only certain things they could do. So, all the other girls getting married off, they getting them husbands and stuff. And he like, dang, my daughter, most beautiful girl in town. she can't get a job nowhere. I mean, she can't get a guy no kind of way. So, she got whatever little job. She had to get a little job doing something. So she went and started doing, like maid work and that type of stuff. And a guy came to her. And this guy wasn't black. He was a different race. And he came to her and told her she the most beautiful woman he ever seen. And he said, I work for a production company. Now, when she heard that, the word production, it didn't really, to her, she didn't really understand what he was saying. So he told her that he wanted to, have her come by and meet the people and all this stuff, and they might have some work for her. So, she was just crazy excited because at the time, she cleaning, doing what's it called, like maid work, cleaning people's houses, and that's what her mama did, clean people's houses and cook for them and all that type of stuff. So, she couldn't stand, she felt like she was just, it was beneath her to have to do that because of, how she looked. So she went to meet the guy, and when she got there, she realized by production company, he meant like movie production. Like, I guess when she heard, either she didn't really understand what production meant, or she was thinking like they produced some kind of, like a warehouse producing some kind of whatever, some kind of warehouse factory type setup. But she saw it was actually like movie production. Now, the idea, and TV was new to, I ain't gonna say all people in the 50s or the 40s. I'm saying, whenever, I think TV came out in the 40s, I think. Maybe earlier than that, but I believe TV came out in the 40s. So, to a lot of people, TV was new. Her family, they was broke. They ain't had no TV. They listened to the radio. That's how people was getting listening to sports or listening to movies, listening to radio. That's how they did it back then. So when she saw, she knew what TVs was because they see them now. But so she was like, oh my God, I get the chance to be on TV. So, of course, she ain't had no agent like that one. If they was at that time, man, you got, always remember, man, with these stories, it's a whole different time. Stuff was new to certain people. So if somebody told me today they want me on TV, I know we gotta have a contract. I know I need an agent. As people know this stuff and they still don't do it and they get jammed up. So they immediately start taking pictures of her and just printing out these beautiful photos of her. And, she had never really had, having your photo taken was a special thing back then. Like, we literally take, you got some people taking, hundreds of pictures a week, people taking multiple pictures a day. At this point, man, if you wanted your photo taken back in the day, you had to go and get it taken. You know, like, now if you was had the money and you was in the photography, whatever, but the average person, you know, you had to go and get your photo taken. That's why a lot of times when you see photos from back in the day, people are always like posing or sitting down or something. You know, it's not like a spur of the moment thing. It's very rare you catch spur of the moment people like photos. A lot of times the only way that would happen was with a journalist, and that's where a lot of the photos I use, they come from like old newspapers or journalists who would go out to get these photos. You know what I'm saying? So with the pig lady, they was taking her photos, showing them, and they told her they was gonna put her in a newspaper ad. Now, you know, her daddy read the newspaper every day, and she just thought about how crazy it'd be. And everybody read the newspaper. How if people flipping through their papers, they gonna see her face in the paper. So she had a little ad for whatever in the papers, man. It wasn't no big front page thing, but you know, just a little something. And they took it and they paid her, gave her more money in that one thing that she made the entire time she was at her, you know, other job, man. So she just, you know, freaking out, man. And she run home and she gave her daddy, that morning when the paper came, she grabbed the paper and she was waiting for the guy that he ain't even, you know how the guy throw the paper, she caught them up. Like she was ready. So she showed her pops you know, watching him flip through the paper. And when he got to the page she was on, you know, he paused for a minute and said, "Man, that look just like you." And that's when she showed him the money and told him what happened, man. So, you know, of course, back then, you know, you made sure you look out for your parents, man. You know, you didn't just go get no money. And, you know, you made sure that when you made money, you was making money to support the household. So, the whole family started celebrating. You know, Daddy told Mama to take off from work today. And, you know, we're going to have a feast. We're going to cook. We're going to, you know, yeah, man, they had a good time, man. They celebrated. Now, the guy told her that, you know, the newspaper ad went so good that next we gonna have you in a magazine. Now the magazine, you know, newspapers is local, you know, that city or whatever. So now he's saying we finna put you in a magazine. You know, magazines is I guess really worldwide. You know, magazine go all over the world. So now it's time for the magazine shoot. So she, you know, was doing little newspaper ads and stuff like that. And they had her doing little, you know, different little stuff around and, you know, taking photos and all that. So now when the magazine time come, you know, this like maybe a couple months later, she, you know, she was, at this point, she was living pretty good, man. Like the family, they moved and got them a better house, you know, just in a few months, man. Cause, you know, the pops, he was making decent money for black folk at that time. And, you know, the mama, she wasn't necessarily making decent money, but, you know, she, now that her daughter was making money, it freed up the mama to like get on some entrepreneur type stuff. So she got to like doing clothes, and so before you know it, sewing, you know, she got to sewing and making clothes and, you know, little stuff like that type of stuff. So before you know it, the production company, the movie company, whatever you want to call them, they hired the mama to, you know, for their costume and design and set design and janitorial work. Like she was just like a one-woman army, man, keeping the place running pretty smooth. Was cooking, you know, catering for the place like she did. So they was living good. So she was dead to try to get a job. You know, they ain't got no room for the black man, but you know, they got plenty of room for the black woman. So she so the pop get up in there and he trying to get in there, but you know, now he start kind of learning about, you know, Hollywood. He started trying to, you know, learn a little bit about how things go. And it wasn't easy because, you know, you ain't finna get no game for free. Ain't nobody finna teach you no game. You know, this is something you gotta learn through trial and error, or you just gotta be born into people that's, you know, you can trust or something like that. But, you know, this ain't the type of thing where people gon', you know, when it comes to making real money, people not finna just give you no game for free. It just is what it is. Now you'll be blessed and things, you know, things will work out in your favor and you'll learn something you didn't learn or didn't know, but you know, that's far and in between, few and in between. So if it happened, be thankful for it, because it don't happen too often. So when the magazine shoot came, they wanted her to you know, be a little more show a little more skin than she showed, you know, usually in the newspaper. They want her to, you know, they want her to show some skin. Now this during the era where it was like a women's era. Like this is a time where like women was fighting for their rights, and you had like the hippie movement in the 60s and stuff, and the women was running around topless and stuff and all that kind of stuff. So they told her, you know, so she was that's what they wanted her to do. Now she knew that if her parents found out, they was gonna flip out. You know, they knew she knew she was gonna get a whooping. Like she knew she was gonna get a beating, man. Like, so, you know, they had never told her like, hey, don't do that, but it was, you know, she just knew. You know, she knew what her parents stood for. You know, back then everybody went to church. Everybody went. Now, some people might have just went because they believed, and some people went because they didn't want to be the ones who didn't go to church. You know, they didn't want to be the ones in the neighborhood who was at home on a Sunday morning. But everybody went to church. So she already knew what her parents believed then. She already knew what time it was. So she told the guy, like, you know, so I really want to do this. I really, you know, I want to make y'all done so much for me and my family, but I just can't do this because my parents are gonna freaking kill me. So they told her, don't worry about it. We'll work it out. We'll work on something else. So she felt relieved and was happy the guy understood, and so he come back to her, you know, like a couple days later and tell her, hey, I just talked to so and so and this and that, and they're telling me if you don't do this, then we gotta terminate your contract. And she like, dang, she said contract. So you know, she didn't know when she first got with them, like really what the contract, you know, she didn't really know that she signed the contract. So he said, yeah, we have to terminate your contract. So she said, you know, what do you mean contract? So he told her, you remember when you first came in, you know, you signed this that paperwork. And she like, yeah, but wasn't that just to confirm my employment? And he said, yeah, technically, yeah, it's a contract. So she didn't read through it. You know, of course, she didn't know a contract could get you set up. All she saw was the money. That's all she seen. All she seen at the bottom. It told her how much money she was gonna make, and her name went right next to that. So she ain't thought about to read through it. And even if she would have read through it, she still would have signed. Cause you ain't finna turn down that money and a chance to be a star. So yeah, he said, yeah, you know, you signed the contract, and the contract states that you would do whatever the company asks you to do, you know, as long as it ain't something illegal, you know. But if the company asks you to do a reasonable thing for them and you deny it, the contract terminate. So as far as the company was concerned, it's a very reasonable to ask a model to take some pictures in a swimsuit. And you know what? Was it this one wasn't a swimsuit. The first one was just it was just like, but she was showing some cleavage and had a real high skirt on, showing her legs and stuff. So he said, yeah, this is a reasonable ask. We ain't asking you to, do nothing illegal. So, hey. Now, he told her to go home and think about it because she started like looking like she was finna cry and all that. So he said, go home and think about it and just get back with me tomorrow. So she went home. She got with her parents. She took them out to eat. Bought them a gift. Took them back home. And they all just sat on the couch. And they had a TV now. They turned the TV on, and at this time, boy, it was only like 2 or 3 channels or something, man. And they just sat there and watched it. And she said, Pop, do you think I could be on TV one day? And he said, baby, I know you're gonna be on TV one day. And she said, I got a chance to get on TV. They told me all I gotta do is just, keep up the good work and do what they asked me and listen, like you always taught me to do. He said, well, baby, if you know what you gotta do, then go and do what you gotta do, and you will be on this television one day. You making your parents so proud. Now at that, she just kind of took that as like a blessing, like a go ahead. Now she know that she was kind of deceptive because he ain't know what, she was really getting at, but that's why also you gotta watch your words, because he did tell her, do what you gotta do to get on that TV. So, now he ain't know what she was talking about, but hey, sometimes you gotta watch what you be saying, because we'll be looking to set you up. So she tell the guy the next day, I'll do it. And she do the shoot and it go in the magazine. Now she didn't tell her parents about the magazine shoot because she ain't want them to see. And she hoped that nobody in town, that really knew her parents, because now they ain't stay in the old town they was in, they in a new town. So in this new town, her parents was, them folk ain't mess with her parents. They kept their head down and kept, and they just did what they had to do. They knew they was lucky to even be there. So, we ain't caused no trouble. Now, in the old town, of course, the people that found the magazine and saw it, they was running around telling everybody and this and that, but, the families started kind of getting kind of bougie, man. So they didn't, they didn't talk to the folk from the old town no more. Like, that was it, man. They was done with them. Man, they on a whole nother level now. So once they get to once the magazine shoot went good and her parents never found out, she did another. And on each one they was asking her to just get a little bit more undressed. A little bit, show a little more skin, a little more provocative type pose, and it was just getting a little bit more every time, man. It's just getting worse and worse. Until finally, they asked her to do the big one, just a bikini. Now, she knew that at this point, she had got away with it so much that she didn't really, she didn't think twice. She ain't think twice, man. Like, okay, cool. Like, way back in the back of her mind, she knew that it probably wasn't right. But she did what she did what she did. Now, so I know some people listen to this, they'll be like, hey, I'll do it, whatever. Hey, I put it like this. We all sit there and look at a woman in a bikini in a magazine or something, or on the internet or whatever, but we don't want it to be our daughter. So, when I was a kid, man, and we had Jet magazine and we had the centerfolds, man. Shoot, that was a big deal to us, boy. I don't know if y'all know, but in Jet magazine, they had like the Jet Beauty of the Week, and she'd always be wearing a bikini, man, and like, damn. But hey, do we want that to be our daughter? Some folk might be cool, but I know I don't want it to be mine. So that's what the thing is. If you think it's okay, that's fine. But just understand that even if you think it's okay for you, would you want your daughter doing it? And if you ain't got no daughter, you might not understand. That's all. So, you gotta respect that, right? You gotta respect that. If you gotta respect that. But anyway, now they tell her that we gonna put you in a swimsuit, and after this, if this get over big, the next step is we're gonna get you in a movie. Now, she been seeing herself in the magazines, and but she had never seen what she looked like on that moving camera. She seen what the still images looked like, but she had never seen what it looked like to be behind that camera, man, with that moving video or whatever. So, she told him, "Sir, I'm ready when you ready. Whenever you need me to do it, let me know." So, story start getting dark. Right here. So now he tell her, "Let's go out." Now he take her out, and when she go out, they go to this like a club, like a fancy club, upscale type place. And when they get there, there's a table or a booth or something like that, and they got a lot of old men sitting around this table. And when they get there, they got waitresses serving them, and like they the number one table at the place. Like there's other people there, but they the table. That's the spot right there. You can tell. They getting everything they want, and they getting it quick, fast, and with a smile, man. So he tell her come on and come on over, and he was gonna introduce her to everybody. So he came in, introduced her to everybody, and everybody shook her hand and kissed her hand and stuff, and she was happy to meet him. She don't know she knew they had money and stuff, and they looked like they was important, and these is white men, so they sitting here, smiling and chuckling with a young black girl, man. So to her, she felt like she was somebody important. Now, they had her sit down, and at this age, she wasn't old enough to drink. She was still about 20 at this time. But they got her a drink, and she had a hard time drinking it because she never done it before. But then they went and got her something light, and so something a little easier for her. And now she didn't know it's going down easy, but it ain't going down without a fight. So yeah, it might be going down smooth now, but it's gonna get rough later. So she started getting all woozy and stuff, and they just keep on getting her drinking, keep her drinking, and eventually she passed out. Next day, she woke up in a hotel room, and the guy who had originally brought her, he was knocking at he was in the room and waking her up and having her get dressed and stuff, and she realized she was confused at first, of course, when she woke up and her head was hurt, but it ain't take her long to realize what happened. Now, let this be a look for y'all women out there. When it's too good to be true, and for the men too, when it's too good to be true, it probably ain't true, right? When somebody look, I do truck driving, right? And a guy called me and he say, "Man, I got I got a truck. I only charge, like, to rent his truck. He's like, I only want $500 a week. And I got a dedicated route for you that pay $8,000 a week. I said, oh yeah? Well, where the truck at? Yeah, it's over here and blah, blah, blah. And only thing I ask is that you do a $350 deposit. So basically, he trying to get me to send him $350 so he can disappear. That's really it, cause ain't no truck. You ain't got no truck. And if you did have a truck and you was only charging $500 a week, plus you was giving me a $8,000 a week route to run, whoever had the truck before me, why would they get a truck back? Like, if somebody offer you something like that, you ain't finna go, okay, man, I'm done. And no, you will hire your brother or whoever to run that route. If you got to take a week off, you will hire somebody to run that truck for you. And that's just all it is to it, man. You ain't gonna, it's just all it is to it. You gonna hire somebody to run that truck for you. You is not finna turn that money. Look, if it was me, I'm gonna run that truck. And when weeks I can't, I'm gonna get somebody else to run it before I go get him the truck back. Heck no, man. So when it's too good to be true, it probably ain't true. So hey, that's all I can say. If it's too good, it probably ain't true. But anyway, man, this story is a little longer than shit. You don't realize how long the story is till you get to telling it. So let me see. I might cut it right there. That's probably a good spot, man. That's probably good right there. I might go and cut it right there. So y'all let me know y'all want to hear some more of this.